So what is this OSI model or a layers? What is the OSI model or a OSI layer? Whatever it is, you name it this OSI layer or a OSI model. It contains 7 layers. So that's why it is called as a 7-layer model. Also called it as a 7-layer model. This OSI. OSI. Normally people think OSI layer, TCP layer, IPX layer like that. So different layers are came from the OSI layer. Actually, after TCP IP layer, OSI layer came into market. OSI layer, no one will use it. Okay, it is a reference model. Reference model. What is the use of this one? For understand and troubleshoot network. Okay, and you want to create a new network, so that is OSI layer will useful. You want to create a new network or you want to create a new reference communication model. So OSI layer will be very useful. Troubleshooting related also OSI layer is very useful. There is a certain words like a certain names, organizations names. ISO is an organization. What is ISO? Anyone?
International Organization for Standardization.
Good. Organization for standardization. Standardization spelling whatever it is, standardization. SION or TION. SION. Standardization. Not international standard organization. It will give you standards.
Yes.
This is standard or not? Yeah, tell me.
ZATOI. ZATIOI.
Again, standardization, TIO. This is correct. Okay. International Organization for Standardization. For example, you have an organization, you are a company, or maybe you have a formula. You have a formula, working formula is there, or model is there. So they will give you a stamp. This is standard. As per the standard, it is there. You are doing some business. You are maintaining the business in a different angles, like um, investment and outcome, establishment, customer care. So like that. So different angles, so different type of points you take it, and it will make it as a standard. So you're doing in the standard like that. Even a model, your formulas, engines, whatever it is. So this organization gives standardization for things. So ISO model, ISO OSI model is standardized by ISO organizations. Another for one is comes with IEEE. Okay, what is IEEE? Institute of Electrical
and Electronics Engineering.
Electrical and Electronics Engineer or Engineering. Okay, it is an institute. It will also give standards like journals. You will get it. So then what are the new things came into market? Like you are created a new concept of doing something like that. Also, it is journals are there. Okay, IEEE projects, you know that one. Okay, so not only that one, Internet Task Force, Internet Engineering Task Force, IANA, ICANN. These are different organizations involved in this OSI model, IP addresses, global communications, domain names. These are all will be there. RFCs, request for comment. Request for comment. Okay. What is request for comment? So in a IEEE, we'll tell you this is how it is works. But you can request for comment means you can comment in a different doubts or for clarifications or different inputs you can able to do with the IFC. So these are the certain names comes with whenever we discuss about a networking OSI model and all. So certain standards by different organizations are given. So what sir it is? OSI reference model. So first of all, what is OSI? Open System Interconnect.
Interconnection.
Open System
Interconnection.
It is having a 7 layers. The first layer is application layer,
Application.
presentation layer,
Session.
session layer. Next,
Transport.
Transport layer,
Network layer.
export layer,
network
application
layer,
layer,
Network layer.
network
Data
layer,
link.
data
Data
link
link.
layer.
data, data
Physical
link
layer.
layer, physical layer.
These are the 7 layers. Okay. Some are like people say no. Sir, it is first is the physical layer, next data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, application layer. Okay. Some are believe in a bottom to top or top to bottom. So whatever it is must be in order. Either it is application, presentation, session, transport, and network data link layer, physical layer. So or physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, application layer. So whatever it is must be in order. Second one is both are right answers only. Both are correct only. Why? Because of so how you understand network from physical to application or application to physical, that is purely depends upon you only. That's it. Okay. Even though the layer numbers are different, the layer one is physical layer, layer two data link layer. So, okay, better instead of typing very big kind of stuff. So physical layer is a layer one, data link layer is layer two, layer three is a network layer, fourth layer is transport layer, fifth layer is session layer, sixth layer is presentation layer, seventh layer is application. Okay, so which is the correct one? Layer one, layer two, layer three, or layer seven, layer six, layer five? Which order? It is not like that. Important is complete order is important. Either bottom to top or top to bottom. But why I written like this? Because when I learn this kind of stuff, time. Okay, at that time, so the people taught me like that. I am habituated to reading and learning and teaching from application layer to physical layer. Okay, if you are already you already like in your engineering or maybe you have taken a course outside, if they teach you from physical layer to application layer, that is also correct. In my PPT, it is a physical layer to application layer. Okay. The top three layers called as a upper layers, also called as software layer. Okay, software layer means application based layers it is, program based layers it is. It's not a no involvement of hardware devices here. Transport layer, call it as a heart of OSI model, heart of OSI model, also called it as it provide end-to-end connectivity. End-to-end connectivity. Next, bottom three layers means network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. These are all called bottom layers. Also called as hardware layers. Also called as hardware layer. Okay. So each layer we are going to explain one by one. Of course, there is a protocols, port numbers also will come up. Okay. So first one is in application layer. Here it is. What is this application layer? It is very simple application only. A program or an application or a service. Service like that. So what is that example? For example, I have a DHCP server which gives DHCP service. So what it will give? IP address. It assign IP address to client. So in a server side, DHCP is an application or maybe it is a service. It provides IP address to the client. Application layer. For example, web server. Best example is web server. Different web servers are there, like Microsoft IIS, Apache, HTTPD, or a Tomcat. Like this, different web servers are there. And we are accessing a website, right? So we are accessing a website, the web client. So how you access a website? Web browser. Example, Chrome browser, Firefox, browser, or maybe you can say we can see like a Microsoft Edge browser. Okay, so both are application side. This is a server side application, client side application. Okay, so if application means your server is down, your web server is down, you can't open the web page. For example, where is my mouse? Here it is. So I open w3schools.com. In a remotely somewhere w3school.com server is there. If server is available, I can able to open and read things from the web server, right? If server is down, I can't open the website. I can't open the website. So like that, in my client side, so what is your client application, and server side, what is the server related applications? So that is a application layer. Okay, the first basic part of application layer we can easily understand. You can if you don't get this, what is DHCP like application wise, at least try to understand web server or FTP servers, mail clients. Okay, so these are all applications only. Example, mail server related applications, Microsoft Exchange, Zimbra, Zimbra, Domino, and also client side. So we can use a web browser for access, and also we can use Outlook application. Okay, Outlook application is there. Lotus Note. Application is there to access the mails. So this is application wise. So if you got any issues like you are unable to access particular website, meaning is the website is not available or down. Okay, like you are able to access other things, but you are unable to access the particular website or particular mail communication. Your internet is good. You are able to communicate, like you can open YouTube or Gmail account, everything is working, but you are unable to send a mail through your Outlook. Then obviously it is Outlook related issue or a server related issue is there. Like that we can understand. Of course, here I written a certain services, DHCP services, web services, mail services, right? Look at here. I'm a client, so I'm from my computer, and there is a server. Always remember, guys, server provide a service, client access the service, and client request for a service. Client send a request. Client request a service. This is the client. This is the server, and server respond according to client request. Send a response. For example, it is a web server. I send a web related request. I need a web page. Then it will give you web page. If web page is not available, it tell page is not available. Page is not available. Okay. Any response, you'll get it. Request. Client send a request. Server understand the request and respond to the client. So server is web server. I send a web related request on. If I want a FTP request, server is a FTP server. I send a FTP request. I have to send FTP related service. My server is mail server. I am sending a mail request, mail related request. Then I will get a mail communication, right? So it depends upon what is your server, what is required services. So we have to send it. For example, mine is a web server, just a web server only, but you send a mail related request. The web server don't give any response, it drop the packet. Okay, or it will give you some different response. So it depends upon the server program. Okay, again I'm telling how your server understand what is your request. Okay, for example, my server is a web server and as well as a FTP means file server, also mail server, multiple services are I'm providing. So what is your request? How server will be understand? What is your Okay, how server understand what is your request. Okay, so by protocols only, by protocols. Okay, so protocols generally in our engineering and all, people said set of rules. But when you put a question, what is set of rules? They'll tell a story like when a trainer is lecturer is came into hall, you have to stand up, you have to salute to your superior officers. Okay, so you have to wear the dress code. These are the set of rules. That is not a set of rule. That is the social rules, social set of rules. This is not a set of rules for a protocol. To understand what is your request, to understand the service request. Okay, what is a service request, or what is service? What is the service is best is first understand. Thing is, what is the service? Either you request or you are getting, means send and receive kind of stuff. Send and receive kind of stuff. You are sending a request and you receive a response. So what service you are requesting, what service you are getting. So that is, you can understand by protocols only. Okay, here it is again, protocol. Each protocol having a port number. Each protocol having a port number. So what is the protocol and what is their port number? What is the port number is? Port number is numerical representation of protocols. Okay, very simple to understand. These protocol port numbers are a numerical representation. Means we know we are typing things in a English language. It is high level language. C programming, Java programming, .NET programming, Python programming. These are all, we write a things in that one, that is called a high level language. Computer understand machine level language, means binary language or a hexadecimal language only it will understand. The port numbers are ASCII codes, direct hexadecimal numbers for a protocols. So direct numerical numbers. So it is easy to convert into binary format. So when you are using, you use a protocol, but while you are sending, actually you are sending a port numbers only. So what is this? You can look at here. HTTPS. Without putting HTTPS, it won't work. Okay. If of course now browsers are understanding directly, a lot of application development is there. Earlier compulsory you have to type http:// kind of stuff. Entire URL you have to type it. Now it is very easy to get it. Okay. Compulsory to put a www like that earlier days. Okay. Now the technology improves, it become more easy. Okay. HTTPS request or FTP request. FTP request. Okay. Not working. Okay, not working this one. So this is FTP request. Okay, mail related request like that. So you can see the protocols. Okay, so first one is HTTP. HTTP for a web access. HTTPS. Most of the websites nowadays we are using HTTPS only. S means over SSL. HTTP over SSL. HTTP over SSL, secure socket layer. What is this? data will be encrypted. Encrypt format. Okay, SSL encrypt your HTTP data. So then data is secure. So data will be secure. HTTP plain text format. Anybody can tap and know what is your data transmission. For example, you are sending a mail, or like you are doing a mail communication, or maybe you open a bank application, bank. Yeah, right. Your net banking you open. You put your bank user ID, password, and transaction IDs. You are transferring amount or receiving or checking something. If anyone is in your network or maybe in internet, so they can see your data transmission. They will get, they'll take your packets, okay, and check where the username password is there. They'll take your username and password, they will use it. Okay, so that is HTTP type. HTTPS, it encrypt every data. It encrypt every data. So whatever your request, page, even picture, video, whatever it is, it encrypt the data. So if anyone is trying to check what is the data you are transmitting or receiving, so they don't understand because it is encrypted. Next one is, I want to put a FTP, Telnet, SSH, SMTP, POP3, IMAP, version 4, DHCP, DNS, RDP, Kerberos, LDAP, NTP, SNMP, TFTP. So not only these protocol guys, there are a lot of protocols are there, including your Oracle database related protocols are there. Manual protocols also, we can define certain protocol kind of stuff is also there. For example, so 8080, 9090 kind of protocols are there. A lot of things. Lot of protocols are there. There are regular protocols, regularly we use the protocols, and they have a port numbers also. HTTP 80, HTTPS 443. Because for SSL, the port number will be different. FTP 2021 port number. Okay, so what is FTP? File transfer protocol. Hypertext transmission protocol. Hypertext transmission protocol over SSL. FTP file transfer protocol. Okay, to transfer, upload or download data to remote system. FTP. Telnet. Telnet is a remote connection. So I want to connect to a remote machine and I want to send a data. That is 23. Port number is 23. Okay. So don't try to remember like a port number and protocol. So try with the protocol and port numbers only. So why I put like this? Telnet SSH RDP for remote access protocol. These three are a remote access purpose only. Okay. SSH is also there. Difference between SSH and Telnet. SSH is a encrypt format. We can connect a remote machine with a encryption. Means whatever the data you are sending and receiving, accessing, it is encrypted format. Telnet is plain text format. RDP, remote desktop protocol. For example, you are using a remote Windows server is there. For example, I have a desktop. I'm accessing my desktop from here, remote desktop. So then that is called a remote desktop protocol. Remote access only, but directly desktop we are accessing here. RDP 3389. Next. SMTP. SMTP is Simple Mail Transmission Protocol. What is simple mail? Means if you want to send a mail, SMTP. You want to send a mail, we use SMTP protocol to send a mail. Okay. You want to retrieve a mail, means you open a mailbox and you receive a mail. To receive a mail, we use POP3 or IMAP. We use POP3 or a IMAP. POP3 is 110. IMAP is 143. See, these are three are belongs to mail communication. SMTP, POP3, IMAP. DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Port number is 6768. DNS is port number is 53. What is this DHCP? When you connect your router, your Wi-Fi router, your mobile phone automatically got IP address. Your laptop is got IP address. How you got IP address? You are not assigning, but you got automatically an IP address. Your router act like a DHCP server and provide a IP address. Okay, so like that. So normally every system should assign with the IP address to communicate in the network, but we are not assigning, right? We are not assigning. Who is assigning? Our router act like a DHCP server. It assign IP address to my system. Next, DNS server. What is DNS server? We are communicating so many things in the internet, and with the names. The titles are like in names, like a w3source.com I open. Okay. Tutorial points I open. It's about, I don't know IP address of tutorial point or google.com or facebook.com or gmail.com. Okay. youtube.com. I don't know IP address of those servers, but still I am getting IP address from DNS server. So we get IP address of a particular domain or URL or a PC host, okay, or FQDN, we will get an IP address. Assign IP address to client, that is DHCP will do. DNS is maps name to IP address. For example, you want an IP address for a, I've typed that one. If you want for example, gmail.com, DNS server will give IP address. Or you can say like you want to communicate gmail.com. You don't know IP address of gmail.com. The DNS server will give IP address. Okay. So there is a small difference is there, not a small difference, huge difference is there between DHCP, DNS. Both are network services, both are give you IP address. But DHCP server assign IP address to the client or a configure IP address to the client. Also you can see configure IP address to the client automatically. Kerberos 88, LDAP 389. It is a authentication protocols. These are belongs to user authentication protocols, like authentication protocol. NTP, network time protocol. Okay, you will get a time, right? So here it is. I got a time here. How I got a time from internet only. So that time will be adjusted according to my server. So as you can see, internet time, change settings. So this is a NTP server from Microsoft. Times.microsoft.com. Time.microsoft.com is a NTP server. So what it will do? NTP server synchronize your time according to your time zone. Okay. NTP server synchronize time with your time zone according to your time zone. Okay. SNMP 161, 162. Simple network management protocol. Simple network management protocol. Okay. Simple network management protocol. What is the simple network management protocol? For example, you want to monitor your network or PCs or infrastructure. Okay. To monitor your infrastructure, we use SNMP. Like how my router is working. Okay. It's a continuously working. Any problems it is facing or any something from it. I want to monitor my, I have a 10 computers are there. I want to monitor the 10 computers from my desktop. Okay. So that is, we can do with the SNMP. Simple network management protocol. Trivial file transfer protocol. Port number is 69. Trivial file transfer protocol is different from file transfer protocol, but the name is file transfer protocol means it upload or download data. But what is this T? We'll see it. The T represent trivial, meaning is we don't upload and download just a data. It's not like a data. It is, you can upload and download configuration of remote systems. Okay. For example, when we are in a CCNA time, so that time we use TFTP. Like I configure a router configuration in the system, we put that configuration into remote router, or remote router is already configured, fully configured router is there. What we will do, we'll take that configuration, we'll take a backup of that configuration. Okay. So mostly TFTP use for a backup configurations or backup the data. Okay. Or upload the data, configurations kind of stuff. Okay. After this and so compulsory guys, these are important protocols. Regularly we are using these protocols. For example, mail communication. Regularly we are using mail communication, SMTP, POP3, IMAP. We are getting an IP address, that is DHCP. We are getting an IP address for a particular domain name, that is a DNS. Okay. We are uploading and downloading a data using FTP. So we have to configure or access remote systems. Okay, we have to access the remote system or to connect the remote system for configuring or managing whatever it is. So we use Telnet and SSH or RDP kind of stuff. Daily we are using a websites. We open a website, HTTP, HTTPS. Of course, user authentication is there now. So like your system is authenticate you to, when you put a username and password, so it is authenticate you. So it is authentication protocols, centralized authentication, mail authentication. So any authentication comes under authentication protocol. Example, Kerberos and LDAP. NTP, your mobile phone, your laptop, desktops, when they're connected to internet, automatically time will be updated as per your time zone. Okay, so that is NTP. SNMP, to monitor, you are working in an organization, there are a lot of servers, desktops, routers, switches, like that, so many devices are working. You want to monitor the status of the devices, or network related monitoring, or server related monitoring, anything you want to do monitoring, So the protocol we use SNMP. Okay, these are the sum of protocols and their port numbers. This is application layer. Okay, so application layer is belongs to application. Either it is client application or a server applications. Client send a request to the server. Server understand user request by protocol only. Server understand user request by protocol only. So your data is transfer data or a communication, entire communication by IP address. To understand what is the purpose of communication is protocols. Okay, entire communication by IP address only. Without IP address, we can't communicate. But without IP address, we can't communicate. Even though you are communicating, what is your type of communication? What is the type of communication? Type of communication means web related or file related, mail related, monitoring related, okay, or access related. So like that. Form of communication or a type of communication, you can say, just for understanding only. Guys, understand protocols and application layer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next one is presentation layer. Presentation layer having a 3 lines are there, so we'll discuss that 3 lines. Okay, so what is a presentation layer? Presentation layer is it is encode and decode the data. Meaning is it convert the data into ASCII format. What is ASCII? ACITP. Still waiting. Forget first year. Right or wrong? American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Right or wrong? Check it. So what is this ASCII format? You put a different data is there in our computer. We have a different form of data are there. Like we are typing a letters, numbers, pictures, dots, special characters. For every type of data, every character of the data having a ASCII code. So your data is converted into ASCII code because it is already hexadecimal. It is directly converted into binary. So for understanding of your instruction and data by your computer, so you have to convert your high level language to machine level language. To do that one, intermediately your ASCII will do that one. So this our program will convert. Okay, our system will convert your pictures, videos, text data, anything convert into ASCII. So then ASCII is converted into binary directly at a hardware layer. Okay, so it's converted the data into ASCII format. But what is this conversion? So when you are communicating different type of data, we use it. For example, text files are there, HTML files are there, PDF type of documents are there. Documents are there. MP3, okay, 3GP, WMV, or movies like MP4, MP4, FLV, flash files, okay, SWF like a short wave format. So now it is removed. Okay, so these are a different type of data. The data is convert into ASCII format. What are the form of data? For format of data, it is it convert into ASCII format. So that is in a presentation layer, encoding and decoding. Next, compress and decompress. What is compress? It compress the data, so then it saves the space. It compress the data. So you have a lot of data you are sending or receiving. So data size is bigger. So what it will do? It compress the data. Next, encrypt and decrypt. Encryption and decryption, or encrypt or decrypt. So whatever the word you can use it. Encryption and decryption, or encrypt and decrypt. What is this encrypt and decrypt? Already I told HTTP, HTTPS. Use HTTPS, it encrypt the data while transferring. So in other people who are in the network don't know what you are sending through the network. Okay, there is a packet catches are there. For example, Wireshark. So using that Wireshark kind of applications, I can take I take the packets from source and destinations from your computer. I will take through the network. Okay, so I will decode your data and then I understand what is you are transmitting. But if I encrypt and send, so other users cannot understand if they are take your transmitted data. So that is the advantage. So like encryption and decryption. This is done by your presentation layer. So application layer will take care of application, both server side and client side. Okay, so whenever your client is requesting and server is responding by port numbers only. Okay, to understand what is your request. Okay, what is your protocol. Next one is session layer. What is session layer? It establish, maintain and terminate. Establish, maintain and terminate the session. And also it is maintain multiple sessions as a single session also. Okay, what is this session? For example, I open a web page. I open a web page. Session will start. Session will be start. Okay, so request will go to server. Server at a server end, it is also generate one session. It receive your session ID and generate one new session, and it reply back to you. Okay, now one set of communication is done. You send, server received it, and server gave you as per your request. The session is started. Session is started and maintained till the completion, and session is ended. Okay, this session is started and ended at your side. In a server side also, it receive a request and forward the information and send the information, then done. Here also done. Session is terminated. Okay, or a interrupt is occur, internet is down. Session is will be wait to complete session. Within the time the session is not completed, what will happen? session will be terminated. For example, you are downloading 10 MB file from the server. You send a request. Server, okay, I have a 10 MB file, download. So you send a 10 MB file, data, like a small piece of data you are getting, right? So not entire 10 MB, one time only you won't get it. Pieces of data you are getting, like you are downloading into it. So, okay, so 10 MB is downloaded. 10 MB data is downloaded, completed. Then session automatically terminated. Session is completed. So how much time you take a download a 10 MB, that much time session will be maintained. Session will be maintained. Once completed, that session automatically terminated. Understand, guys, what is session?
Yes,
You
sir.
send a
Yes, sir.
request, server received it, and given a
Yes, sir.
information to you. Session is established, maintained, terminated. Okay, I said one thing, right? So whenever you are communicating, some interrupt is occur. Your system related issues, network related issues, loose connections, or a network is down, whatever it is, there is interrupt is occur. Session will wait like a 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30, sorry, seconds only, 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, or like that. Okay, so what happened? If maybe session is re-established, no problem. But if it is not get, it is not continue on more. You wait for 15 seconds or a 10 second, 20 second like that. The session is still not recovered, then automatically terminate the session. So from last few batches, I'm telling one of my example in a session layer wise. So I will try for you also understand importance of session layer. Okay, so I'm try. You know, 4 years back, the story is belongs to 4 years back because of I joined in 70s 4 years back. It's a 4 years completed. 4 years completed. Okay, so by tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I think it is will be completed. So we'll see. Okay, so 4 years back story it is. I have to come to Pune. So I'm in Hyderabad in my sister home. I received a offer letter. So I have to come here and join. So what I do? Reservation. Sunday I have to start. So Monday morning I can reach it because I don't have any room that time here. So Monday morning I have to reach it. When I started, Saturday morning I started taking reservation at 10 o'clock. Okay. So I open my mobile phone, connected to Wi-Fi router, very good router and very high speed data, ACT only. Okay, very good. So then it is open, everything is done. I done up to payment. So exactly that time, power cut. Power cut means router is down. Yeah, I am disconnected to communicate through router. What happened in your mobile phone? You have a mobile phone, you are connected to router, means your Wi-Fi router. Okay, you are doing some messaging or browsing something. Now suddenly power cut. Wi-Fi is down. Wi-Fi is down, right? So what will happen to your mobile phone? What is the thing will happen? Earlier you are in a Wi-Fi. Now Wi-Fi is down. So mobile is connected to 4G. Okay, you have a mobile phone. So then automatically you are connected to your Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is down, or you are went outside. You are in a home. Wi-Fi is there. You went outside. Your Wi-Fi is not there now. So what will happen? Mobile phone
There
convert
will be
it
no
to 4G.
internet connection. Isn't
You take a 4G connection. Good. Now what happened in my scenario? my router is down and network switch it to 4G immediately. So my thing should be continue, right? So I done up to payment, and the remaining session, once payment is done and the ticket generation, the request, those things should be happen. So what happened? Exactly that time only it is power down. So then switch it to 4G. Now what happened here? And it is showing like a failure. And the time's up. I am unable to reservation, because again I have to log out and log in again. I have to log out and log in again to do the reservation. Okay, so time's up, and I like that happen. Okay, so why it is happen like that? I'm continuing with the session, right? So I'm not quitting anything, just I'm continuing it. So one type of internet is not working, so then I'm connected to another one. In both the ways, I am getting internet. Here it is, internet is there. Here also internet. Immediately I switched. So automatically the session is disconnected. So that's why I didn't unable to do it. Important is your request to this device or your request to this device. So through this one, so the session maintained, you are communicating like this. So you'll communicate from here on. You're communicating through like this. So then it is look at here on. You know, there is a few things like a Aadhaar card or a Union Bank, like Andhra Bank. Okay, few apps won't work with your Wi-Fi. You must use your mobile data. Okay, you must use your mobile data. Okay, so why? Because of the session establishment through your mobile data is more secure than a public Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi kind of stuff. So what's it is, guys? This is a session layer. What is a session layer? It establishes a session, maintain the session, and terminate the session once session is over. This is of top 3 layers of the OSI layer. Again, guys, compulsory everyone can able to tell about all 7 layers, either top to bottom or bottom to top. Application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, physical layer. Okay. OSI, open system interconnect, 7 layer model, reference model. It is a reference model. Use it to understand the network and troubleshooting the network also. So first layer is application layer, dealing with the application level, like a server side application or a client side applications. Use it. And also it is understand the user request or communications in a top layer with the protocols. So different type of protocols are there for a different type of purposes and different way of communications. HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, Telnet, SSH, RDP, SMTP, POP3, IMAP, version 4, DHCP, DNS, Kerberos, LDAP, NTP, SNMP, TFTP, like that. So many type of protocols are there. The port numbers are representation of protocols in the numerical form. Easy to understand. Presentation layer will do 3 lows. So that is encoding and decoding, compress and decompress, encryption and decryptions. So what are the data you have? It convert into ASCII format. Okay, when you are sending a data, it will convert your data into ASCII format. Compress and decompress. It compress the data, so then size of the data will be less. Encrypt. It encrypt the data, so then the data in the different format. So you cannot understand what is the matter, what is the information in that one. So that is encryption. Session layer. So what is session layer? So when you are sending a request or you are sending something. Okay, so okay, you are pinging, sending packet like that. So automatically it will session will be established. You send a request and you received a response from the server, then transaction completed, automatically it terminates. Till the time it maintains the session. Okay, usually for every batch I told one more point I want to tell, that is, for example, you are downloading 10 MB file. You're downloading 90% completed. Now internet gone. So what will happen? You can't able to continue your download. Okay. Most of the time, after your internet is restored, you have to download from starting. You have to download data from starting onwards, like a 1 MB, 2 MB, like that. You have to download like a 1%, 2%, like that, right? So to avoid it, what we are doing, we use IDM or FDM kind of applications, right? Internet Download Manager, free download manager. I have a FDM like this. FDM. Okay. So free download manager, internet download managers. What is these download managers? It stores the session. What are the session establishment happen from your client to server and server to client? It stores the session and also status of your current download. For example, I want to download a big file. There is a 10 GB file is there. My internet is very weak. Okay, there is a possibility of disconnection. So what happened? If I download with my Chrome browser, 90% downloaded. PowerCat cannot download. 99% downloaded. Internet disturbance. Again, I have to download it from starting only. But what I use, IDM and FDM, I download a 10% only, and internet is disconnected. When it is established, I can continue the download. You know, Windows Vista DVD. First time Windows Vista DVD, I downloaded from the torrent site. I took almost 1 month to download because that time internet speed is 512 kbps, not mbps, 512 kbps. Okay, download by default overall download speed is 70 kbps. 70 kbps for a downloading. You're downloading any file, 70 kbps, and that too huge demand on it because of my counselor was checking Facebook. My manager check something in his laptop. He download something from down like that. It's very important. He disconnect our network. For us, learning is important because that is my first job. Okay, so first job after my graduation, right? So for me, I have to learn. For learning, I need an environment and I have to teach. So I need to download it. So I use a torrent to download, but it took almost like a 1 month. Okay, one bit, like it is BitTorrent. I thought that time it is BitTorrent means bit by bit only it will download. Really, it has happened like that only. Okay, that is the importance of download managers. So guys, for whenever we are about to start Windows 10 kind of stuff, I will tell. But by that time, better to have either IDM or FDM. Free download manager is also free. No need to pay anything. No need of any keys. Simply type in a Google. So FDM. Okay. Free download manager. Simply can go and download for a Windows operating system like this. Okay. So download it and close your browser. Install the download manager. Okay. So automatically there is these things will happen. So what is this? We call it as plugins. Okay, so make sure that your extensions or plugins are installed in your browser. So whenever you download a big files like a Windows 10 files or as 4 or 5 GB files are there, you're downloading. So simply you can easily download that to weak internet areas. That is about your session layer. Guys, network layer, sorry, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, physical layer is also there. Just take a 5 minutes break. I will complete that one and close it. Okay, so then you can easily study today. Okay, just 5 minutes relax.